Hey guys, and welcome to the You vs. You YouTube series that I'm putting together. I'm not expecting this to reach any great social media heights, but I am planning to regularly upload a video. My aim will be once a week, but I can't make any promises to start. To basically document my journey from where I am now to where I plan to get to. So it's not so much a strategy for me to put this out there and hope to grow big on YouTube. It's more a log for myself so I can go back and have a look at what I've tried that has worked, what I've tried that hasn't worked, and what I could possibly implement to improve in the future. And what I mean by has or hasn't worked is moving toward my goal of finally getting on stage for my first bodybuilding competition. I have looked into it in the past. I have been determined to do it in the past, and many times I've said I'm going to do it and always found an excuse or a reason to not do it. So this series is kind of to hold myself accountable, so it's selfish. I'm putting it out there so that I myself am accountable. But I also would like to document it for anyone who is interested and maybe giving it a go. I want to touch base on where I am right now. So I returned home from military training. I did 9 weeks in Kapuka. I don't want to get into that too much because we're actually not allowed to say too much on social media. That's the part of the Defence Force social media policy. But essentially when I left, I was 77 kilos. And when I returned after 9 weeks, I was 66.5 kilos. So I lost 10.5 kilos in that time. We were basically fed, 3 meals a day, meals that you had no sort of choice over, it's fine. It's logistical for them. But it meant that we lost a fair bit of weight. Our training, due to COVID, we weren't allowed to use the gym there or touch any weights. So any training that we did do was essentially just running and body weight exercises. So a lot of us, lost a fair bit of weight, muscle strength and fitness overall. And obviously there was the sleep deprivation too. So it wasn't ideal conditions to build muscle. They don't want you to build muscle there because they want you to be aerobically fit to be a good soldier. So I came home from there. Basically what happened was during a routine medical, they do an x-ray scan and they found a couple of cracks in my L3, L4. Now these, I've known about them for a long time. I've had them since 2017 in a tackle, sustained during a tackle in football. They don't cause me any pain whatsoever, so I'm pretty lucky there. I can still do pretty much everything, but it was deemed that I was too much of a risk for me to continue on with training for a combat role. I was going for a role in the Special Forces, but it didn't work out, which is okay because I am very excited to be back into the health and fitness industry and to return to my studies in January. And I've come back with a renewed mindset, a renewed sense of self-confidence, some motivation, and that kind of has guided me to wanting to start this journey. So it has been a week already since I've been back, and in that week I gained, I think, 3.5 kilos. So back to 70 kilos on the dot. And I know that's not 3.5 kilos of pure lean muscle. I'm not going to get that far ahead of myself. Mostly water. For every gram of glucose that you store as glycogen, you are holding 3 grams of water. So mostly water weight. But I'm still happy to see the scale go up. I have been tracking my calories. So I'll go through a little bit of a log now with you to show you what I have eaten in that week to get me to that 70 kilos. And basically what I'm going to do on these episodes is show you a day of training, a day of eating, what supplements I am using or that I recommend when trying to gain weight. And we're going to cover some mindset things too, which will serve me well on this journey to the bodybuilding stage. And if you are hoping to do the same, if you are hoping to embark on a same journey, hopefully they can help you as well. So I have no idea when the competition will be. It'll be more than a year away. Obviously during COVID and lockdown, we don't have any competitions coming up, nor do we have access to the gym. And I want to have at least a solid 9 months of training in the gym before I consider stepping on a stage. I do have a little bit of a home gym set up here. It's basically just a barbell and a squat rack. There's a lot of workouts that I can still do, so don't think about what you can't do, think about what you can still do and try to maximize that. So I will be showing you the workouts that I'm doing from home, and if you have a similar setup to me with limited equipment, you might be able to follow along with those workouts too. So I hope that you enjoy this series. Again, it's more of an accountability log for myself, but I really do hope that whoever does watch these gets something out of it. So in terms of calories, you can see, well, if you can read my writing, you can see that I'm pretty old school and I like to use notebook and pen. So you can see I started at 66.5 kilos. I actually ended at 71 kilos, so 4.5 kilos, not 3.5, as I stated before.
I didn't have a specific caloric goal. My goal was just to get food in and to see what worked for me. Like, was it going to be 5 meals or 6 meals? Um, I did 6 meals for most of the days, but I think five is going to be what I can sort of handle at the moment. So started at 3,400 calories, went to 4,350 calories day two, so a bit of a jump. 4520, another jump. 4730, big one. On rest days, I'm just not as hungry, so I went down to 3,000 calories. I also don't want to be too high all the time, because then where do you go from there if your body adapts to really high calories? 4650 day six, and back to 4,000, which is where I'm going to set my current daily target. And these are the corresponding weights. So on day one, I ate 3,400 calories. Day two, I woke up at 67.7. So that's a fasted weight. You can see that I gained 1.2 kilos in that 24-hour window just from going for 3,400 calories. Again, mostly water, if not all water, but it gives you an indication. I did drop weight on the 3,000 calorie day. It resulted in a net 300 gram loss, but I quickly made up for it with 2 big days.
So I do apologize for the messy handwriting there. That's just me. That's what you've got. So maybe I'll type up some of these numbers on the screen so you can actually read them. But I want to be transparent about everything, show you exactly what I've been eating. So I'll show you that in the videos to come. Exactly the workouts that I've been doing, the weights that I've been lifting, which I'll be honest, aren't great for now. I've lost at least 1/3 of my strength on basically every exercise, but it's a starting point. And it's good because it's all a novel stimulus again. Like everything feels like it's hurting in a good way. And everything feels like it's responding really well to the training. So I've almost had that beginner gains week again. So it's actually have been quite good to have a prolonged period of rest. But I am really missing the training, and I'm hoping to gain that strength back, plus some. And you'll see during the course of these episodes whether or not that actually happens. The last thing I wanted to touch on for this intro episode is the title, the You versus You. And I'm someone who believes in taking 100% accountability of your actions and 100% accountability for your results. So what I eat is 100% up to me. Doesn't matter what my schedule is like, if I've got plenty of time or limited time, if I've been to the grocery store or not, that's a choice that I've made. So everything that I eat is my choice. All the workouts that I do or do not do, that's my choice. Whether I have lots of time or a little bit of time, I can always do something. Wake up early, go to bed a little bit later, pencil in 10-minute body weight workout during the day if I'm really busy. Whatever it takes, I will have to do that. If I skip a couple of days in a row, 100% accountability, that's on me. If in my mindset, if I get to that period again where I really want to do the bodybuilding show and then I become overwhelmed with self-doubt and just overall negative emotions, like that really mentally draining energy, I've got to take accountability for that too. I know what I want to do, and I can't let a moment of weakness ruin however many weeks of hard work, dedication, months, years that I've put into finally getting on the stage. So You versus You is all about owning your progress, whether it's good or whether it's bad, and really investing yourself into the process. The process is always more important than the outcome. And you have to think, like, you've set this goal for yourself. What is actually more important than the goal itself is what it will make for you to achieve it. That's one thing that I want you to remember. Do not set the goal for the goal itself, but for what it will make of you to achieve it. And again, You versus You. Take 100% accountability for your results, for any failures that you have, and for all the growth that you experience too. You can't just own up to the bad stuff. You got to enjoy the good stuff too. Be humble.